Good evening. A new mosque in Dudley may be a step closer tonight after an offer to break a legal deadlock. Policing rallies and protests against the mosque have already cost hundreds of thousands of pounds. Now an offer's been made on behalf of the Dudley Muslim Association of £325,000 to settle a long-running legal row and allow building work to start. But as Giles Latcham reports, that's proving to be just as controversial as everything else in this project's history.
This was the latest protest just last weekend. But there have been plenty of others in recent years, some of them violent, all of them disrupting daily life and trade in Dudley. At the market, there's a consensus. The mosque issue needs sorting.
You come your march this week, next month you march again, close down the place, waste of money.
I do think they ought to hurry up and get it done, because it's costing the town too much money.
It's sure is holding the town back, yes. But it needs sorting out.
And perhaps it will be, with an offer by Dudley Muslims to buy this patch of land off Hall Street from the council for £325,000. Planning permission for a mosque here already exists, but there's a wrangle about ownership of the site, which is due back in the courts in the autumn. Dudley Muslim Association said they didn't want to do a TV interview because the matter is still in the hands of the courts. But a spokesman told me they believe the offer they've made for this land to be a fair one, an offer which, if accepted, would save the taxpayer further expense and end this long-running saga. Dudley's Labour leader plans to discuss the offer with his cabinet members next week. His priority, he says, a fair deal for the taxpayer.
The way to properly take that forward is to have an open, honest discussion and listen to the views of the scrutiny committee, and importantly listen to the views of community leaders as well, before then we as a cabinet can reach that decision.
Wrong, say UKIP. They want all 72 councillors to vote and for the Hall Street site to be rejected.
I think it should be used for business. It's always been an industrial area, and I want to see jobs created in Dudley or new homes, and that's the request I'm getting from residents, and the mosque won't fulfil that need. Most agree there is a need for a new mosque to replace this one, and regret the £1 million plus it's cost to police protests and pay lawyers. This saga's been tortuously long, though, and we're not at the end of it yet. Giles Latcham, BBC Midlands Today, Dudley.
Well, away from the politics at the council house, this offer also appears to have caused some divisions within the local Muslim population. Dr. Khurshid Ahmed is a former chairman of the Dudley Muslim Association. He says today's offer has been made by a small section of the community.
They have felt that because we were not getting anywhere and we were being intimidated by the far right, it was giving the community the bad name, it was giving the local authority a bad name. We want to get on with it, and we want to sort of resolve the issue.
Is there a sort of split now, then, within the Muslim community over
Well,
this?
the split is on the way forward, and the way forward has to be satisfying, as I said, a number of criteria. The first is that the legal issues have got to be resolved. The second is that the Muslim community's needs need to be met in whatever arrangement we make. And the third is that the relationships which have been spoiled within the community have got to be rebuilt, and it's got to be a solution which brings people together rather than tears them further apart.
Because there's been so much controversy over it,
but
bitter controversy.
But they had always fought their case on the basis that they wanted to use that piece of land for something else. Now suddenly they're suggesting an agreement to give the very same land to us for double the price that we have already paid. And my objection is not that piece of land. I think that the honourable thing to have done was that when they resolved the planning issue, they should have simply backed off the court case and allowed us to build.
All right, how can this be resolved?
Well, it can be resolved by consultation with the community. Obviously, the council leader wants to go to his cabinet and get an agreement there. Likewise, the Muslim community also have the right to agree and look at these proposals. These have been proposals which have been given to the council under the table. We live in a democracy. They need to be transparent, they need to be open, and they need to be backed up by the community.
Well, just a day after conditions were imposed onto the running